sooner we have answers, the better.
How did this life-changing situation come about?
What's he doing?
His job.
I don't trust Rick.
You shouldn't. Are you planning on defending me at any point during this trial?
I could use a ride.
So let me get this straight. After 4 years in a coma, 4 years, and a major liver transplant thanks to Sam, Lulu casually wakes up, rips out her IV like it's no big deal, no blood of course, pulls the fire alarm, grabs a tote bag at the nurse's station, and just struts out of the hospital. No one notices her leaving, and somewhere along the way, she changes into random clothes by the side of the road and flags down a car like she's hailing a cab. Seriously? Let's talk logistics for a second. If someone's been in a coma for years, wouldn't they have, I don't know, a catheter? Maybe even a diaper? But no, apparently Lulu is now the picture of health and hygiene, perfectly capable of staging this low-key escape without a single hitch. Also, when exactly did she get moved from GH, where her entire family was keeping constant vigil, to some facility where the only person checking on her is Cyrus of all people? Her mom ditched her, her friends disappeared, and I get why Dante stopped his bedside marathon, but everyone else, completely Mia. How exactly did we get here? And to the writers, Coma 101. Let me help you out. After 4 years in a coma, Lulu would need extensive physical therapy just to sit up, let alone walk off like she's starring in a getaway montage. And let's not even start on the liver transplant. You expect us to believe she's up and running mere hours after that. My 6-year-old grandchild could have written a better storyline. Honestly, this entire arc is ridiculous. Lulu wakes up and instead of, I don't know, pressing the nurse call button like a rational human, she behaves like she's escaping a prison break. For what? Dramatic flair? It's not like she was locked in a dungeon somewhere. If the plan is to have Cody give her a ride, fine. He could use a little sunshine in his life. Maybe hiding out at the Quartermain stables could actually make this mess vaguely interesting. But as it stands, this storyline is just one big facepalm. I was hoping they'd bring Lulu back with a compelling narrative. Instead, we've got this nonsense. And don't even get me started on how they're writing Eva and Christina right now. The whole thing is so absurd, it's teetering on parody. Let's hope the writers find their footing soon because as of now, soap drama has officially jumped the shark. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Lulu storyline is beyond ridiculous. She's been in a coma for 4 years, just had a liver transplant, and yet she's bouncing around like she just came back from a yoga retreat? A miracle indeed. How is she this full of energy? It's not just unbelievable, it's laughable. Honestly, someone fast-forward this nonsense before the audience checks out entirely. And as if that wasn't enough drama, let's talk about Ava and Christina. First off, Ava's not going to prison. Those charges are going to fall apart faster than Christina's credibility. Either her lies under oath will get exposed, or she's going to lose it in the courtroom. Either way, Ava's walking free because let's be real, this whole situation is on Christina. She shouldn't have gone to Ava's room in the first place. What kind of person, at 8.5 to 9 months pregnant, goes looking for arguments instead of staying home, relaxing, and, I don't know, keeping the baby safe? Here's what happened. Christina pulled away from Ava, tripped over a bag, and fell. It was an accident. Ava didn't push her. Christina was reckless, and it cost her the baby. That's the reality. But no, instead of owning her actions, Christina keeps stirring the pot. Now enter Rick. Slick Rick is locked and loaded, and let's be honest, he's not here to play nice. He doesn't care who's on the stand, not even Molly. It's all about winning for him, and he's going to use every dirty trick in the book to trap Christina. Molly can tell the truth all she wants, but Rick will turn it to his advantage. Christina's already falling into Rick's hands, and let's not forget, she's the one who escalated this mess in the first place. threatening Ava by saying she'd spill everything about Morgan and Connie. That's what made Ava grab her arm. Yes, Ava's reaction set things in motion, but Christina's the one who tripped, lost her balance, and fell. If she hadn't gone looking for a fight, none of this would have happened. At this point, both storylines, Lulu's miraculous coma escape and Christina's courtroom circus, are testing everyone's patience. The writing is messy, the logic is absent, and the characters are spiraling into chaos. Here's hoping something gets salvaged before the audience completely tunes out. Why hasn't Christina mentioned the part where she threatened Ava with testifying about her tampering with Morgan's meds, leading to his death and killing Connie? That's what set Ava off and made her grab Christina's arm. It's a crucial detail that changes the entire narrative, but of course, conveniently left out. And let's talk about General Hospital's recent track record. You've historically tackled a variety of social issues and real-life situations with care and accuracy. So how do you explain completely botching this whole waking up from a coma storyline? After years in a coma, Lulu wouldn't be walking for weeks, let alone hours after waking up. She'd have feeding tubes, a catheter, and more than one small IV line. Not to mention, ripping off a heart monitor would cause the machines to go crazy. The hospital staff would have swarmed her room before she even had the chance to pull a fire alarm. GH has always tried to make its stories relatable and realistic, but this, it's like you didn't even try. Either stick to real-life issues or just bring back the vampires and aliens, because at least then we'd know you're leaning into fantasy. Homework, anyone? As for Christina, she remembers exactly what happened, but is so obsessed with revenge that she's willing to lie to send Ava to prison. Here's hoping Rick keeps pressing her until she loses control and the truth comes out. Ava didn't push her. Christina pulled away, tripped over the luggage, and fell. It was an accident, yes, but Ava grabbing her arm in the heat of the moment started the chain of events. Both women said some nasty things in the argument, but hands shouldn't have been involved, period. And where is the doctor who switched up Sunny's meds for Valentin and Ava? Does Trina even know that her so-called friend did something similar again, putting her entire family and her own daughter in danger? After what happened with Marshall, you'd think this would hit closer to home for her. Christina has replayed that moment over and over in her head. She knows the truth. Ava didn't push her. She tripped backwards over the luggage. But her anger and desire for revenge are clouding her judgment. Rick might be ruthless, but let's hope he goads her into admitting what really happened before this train wreck of a storyline drags on any longer. Everyone better buckle up, because I have a feeling Thanksgiving is about to get messy. Michael seems ready to expose everything. I'm talking the works, secrets, lies, and even that steamy video of Willow and Drew. Drew's been lying to Michael this whole time, and I wouldn't be surprised if Michael decides to serve up the ultimate drama alongside the turkey. Now on to Rick. Go, Rick, go. Christina's story is full of holes, and if she were actually telling the truth, shouldn't someone be suing the Metro Court for its apparently paper-thin windows? Ava isn't even strong enough to push someone through a closed window, and why would she? It makes zero sense. Rick should have no problem tearing this absurd tale apart, leaving Christina foaming at the mouth and hurling insults at Ava in no time. And let's talk about Alexis and Molly. Were they aware of the nonsense Christina was planning to spew when they were supposedly coaching her for this testimony? If they were, it raises serious questions about their judgment. If not, well, they're in for a rude awakening when Rick dismantles Christina's story piece by piece. I kind of hope Rick makes Molly cry on the stand. Maybe it'll force her to confront the truth that this whole thing was an accident. Imagine if Molly flips on Christina and blames her for everything. Now that would be some drama. And wouldn't it be wild if the judge gets so frustrated that they suspend Molly's law license? Talk about consequences. Also, who's the prosecutor in this case? Because if it were me, I'd ask the real questions. What were you arguing about before the fall, Christina? Oh, just the minor stuff, like how Christina threatened to testify against her father and Ava fired back, saying she'd spill the tea on Ava murdering Connie and tampering with Morgan's meds, which led to his mental breakdown. You know, everyday chit-chat. Then, Christina's version of events is that this same Ava, who has a history of violence, grabbed her and she feared for her life. General Hospital, let's talk. Nobody likes Drew right now, and no, that's not because Cameron Matheson is knocking it out of the park. It's because he can't hold a candle to Billy Miller, and you've completely destroyed the character in the process. The moment you decided to cut Billy, you should have retired the role altogether. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to start listening to your fans. Now onto Lulu. Seriously, where's Laura? Everyone was glued to her bedside for the surgery, but now that she's awake, they've all disappeared except for Cyrus. Really? Cyrus? He's creepy as ever, and it's downright bizarre that he's the only one keeping tabs on her. If Laura wasn't going to be around post-surgery, couldn't the writers at least clue in the audience? And lucky, he hasn't checked in at all. It's like the writers forgot these relationships exist. Make it make sense. And Lulu, why is she running? Why not just tell the staff what's scaring her instead of pulling a full escape act? Let's be real. How is she even physically capable of running? 2 months ago, I threw out my back and could barely walk. Meanwhile, she's been in a coma for 4 years, had a major liver transplant, and is now sprinting like a marathoner. Oh, and where did those new clothes come from? Did the side of the road have a just escaped the clinic wardrobe rental? It's magical, even by soap standards. On the other hand, I think I'm starting to like this new Lulu. She gives me a bit of the vibe of the original Lulu played by Julie Berman, so maybe there's potential here. Still, the execution of this storyline? A mess. Now back to Michael. His gotcha moment with Drew is chef's kiss. Drew is practically handing him the ammunition to bury him. It's not quite the level of Jason decking Drew in the face, classic, but it's still going to be satisfying to watch. Between Drew's ego, his constant need to prove he's a stand-up guy, and his desperate attempt to fix things with Michael, he just couldn't stop talking. And in doing so, he handed Michael exactly what he needed. Priceless. And Drew's digging himself in even deeper with his big confession, claiming he and Willow only kissed once. Come on, Drew. Michael already knows they kissed more than once, thanks to Willow spilling the beans. Hope Michael keeps it together long enough to let him and Curtis' plan play out, because right now, Drew is a lot to stomach. The guy is practically breaking his arm, patting himself on the back for being such a great guy. It's exhausting. So GH writers, here's the takeaway. While there are glimmers of hope, like this potential new take on Lulu, the rest of these storylines are either wildly unrealistic or frustratingly underdeveloped. Time to tighten things up before fans completely check out. Cameron Matheson might be a Hallmark darling, but when it comes to General Hospital, not so much. As a Drew recast, he's just not cutting it. And let's not even get started on the writers. They've managed to make him utterly unwatchable. Seriously, chasing after his nephew's wife? That's not just messy, it's a level of disgusting we didn't sign up for. When Drew wraps up his DC escapade, GH needs to do everyone a favor and recast. Give the character a better actor, and for heaven's sake, a storyline that doesn't make us cringe. And while we're at it, Drew's got another thing coming if he thinks Michael's just going to move on after he kissed and slept with Willow. Delusional much? Michael Corinthos doesn't forgive betrayal, especially not the "I slept with your wife and still want her" variety. Add Curtis into this circus. Curtis, Drew's supposed loyal friend, just threw him under the bus like he was nothing, calling Michael family. Guess what, Curtis? Best friends are family too. Remember when you basically dangled the CEO position in front of Drew? Good times? but we all knew Michael's ruthless side would show up eventually. Cross him, and he'll burn everything to the ground. Drew should feel guilty, but of course, he doesn't, because having a conscience is apparently not in his job description. Speaking of drama, brace yourselves. Sasha's pregnancy test is positive, while Willow is also expecting Drew's baby. Plot twist. Willow's baby? Yeah, she's going to lose it, because tragedy loves company, but Sasha's keeping hers. After losing a child already, there's no way the writers will make her go through that again. Right? And shifting gears, because this show doesn't slow down. Can someone explain why no one mentioned Leslie's death last February? Laura's mother deserved more than radio silence. Meanwhile, Rick is over here proving he's the lowest of the low, tearing into Christina on the stand and blaming her for the accident that killed the baby. Classy, but let's not forget the obvious. Ava's still the prime suspect in that baby's death. Hopefully, Christina remembers Molly and Alexis's advice to stay cool under Rick's grilling. Though honestly, cooler heads seem rare in Port Charles these days. Elsewhere, Cody somehow managed to pick up Dante's ex-wife Lulu without realizing who she was. Naturally, Lulu went home, but is bound for trouble when she runs into James. My guess? She'll bolt before Maxie even sees her. And where's Lulu likely heading? Straight to the Q estate. Meanwhile, Lucky and Elizabeth are catching up. First about Elizabeth's endless list of problems, and then about Lulu being missing. Lucky promises to stick around and help her fix things because someone has to. And yes, the big moment, the pregnancy test is in for Sasha, confirming she's pregnant. Port Charles never runs out of twists, does it? You almost want to feel bad for Christina, almost. Rick is absolutely tearing into her on the stand, hitting hard and leaving her scrambling to defend herself. But hey, it was an accident, right? A tragic one, yes, but still an accident. Even Rick can't seem to keep his story straight. One minute he's swearing the baby's death was accidental. The next, he's all but accusing Christina of being at fault. What gives, Rick? We know you hate Sunny, but what's your beef with Christina? She's your niece, for crying out loud. Maybe real in the family betrayal a notch. Meanwhile, Lulu's snobbery makes an appearance. She basically called Cody poor because of the car he was driving. Here's the kicker. When he drops her off, it's pretty clear the car is a 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Not exactly a junker, Lulu. Maybe check the sticker price before throwing shade. Laura? Oh, Laura. Part of Sam's tragic demise lies at her feet. She was laser-focused on taking Sunny down, meanwhile letting her dear brother Cyrus wreak havoc unchecked. Throw in unscheduled visits to Lulu, and look what we've got. Sam dead, Lulu alive, and Cyrus smack dab in the middle of it all. Honestly, it's no wonder actors are leaving the show. They've dismantled so many characters. Laura, Anna, Finn, Sam, and now Michael, Willow, and Sasha. GH really outdid itself this time. And Sasha being Robert Scorpio's daughter, that's a twist no one asked for. Would it kill the writers to give her a break? Her pairing with Cody had potential, but nope, let's pile on more drama. Rick may be a snake, but he's a smart one. He's expertly leading Christina into ruining her own credibility. Case in point, she drops that Ava killed Connie. Is it true? Maybe? Proven? Nope. But sure, Christina blurted out on the stand. Great plan. Meanwhile, Cody's subplot continues to make zero sense. He hung out with Lulu to give Dante a break, and now he's giving her a ride, without recognizing her at all. Did he take a blow to the head we don't know about? So what's the deal with Laura? She wasn't at Sam's memorial, and now she's practically disappeared from Turning Woods when it comes to Lulu. Seriously, no one, not even Cyrus, has mentioned her. Did he do something to her? What's going on? I can't buy that after all this time, especially post-surgery, she'd just abandon Lulu like that. Laura wanted her close to home, right? Turning Woods was supposed to be the plan. Something's off here, and I can't shake the feeling there's more to the story. Drew, honey, you're so deep in your web of lies that you can't even see Michael's playing the long game. He's plotting his sweet revenge, and Aurora, about to be his. And on a side note, finally caught up with GH. And let me just say this. People, it's called suspension of disbelief. Please enjoy the show as a show. I mean, really, of course, Lulu wakes up able to walk and talk without triggering alarms. If she hadn't, what would be the point? The entire story would stall. It's a soap opera, folks. It's been around since I was in elementary school, walking home for lunch to watch it with my mom a long time ago. It's designed to entertain, not be scrutinized like a documentary. Kids age at the speed of light, time travel happens in seconds, medical miracles are the norm, and the plots. Oh, the plots. Bend and twist to fit the script. That's what this show is, a script, not real life. If you're getting bent out of shape over time jumps, logic gaps, or continuity errors, take a breath. It's a soap opera. It's fantasy. You can't microanalyze every little thing. People need to relax and remember that the show's meant to be fun. I get it. We all have our fantasy families. These characters have been my go-to for years, so when people rip into them, it's like you're talking about my family. But life's already stressful enough without bringing that negativity to the screen. Take a step back. There's enough real-world chaos without nitpicking every plot point. So here's a thought. Breathe, relax, and maybe try Big Brother or Survivor if you need something less out there. Oh, and by the way, Lulu's awake. What a shocker.